let's talk about what people are talking about so we can talk about where we can talk about stuff. Hello and welcome back to another video. I'm your beautiful host, Young Buffett, and in today's video, we're going to talk about what people are talking about different stocks and stuff by taking a look at what people are talking about and where they're talking about it. So if you haven't already, let's hop over to Finery and talk about what we should talk about. This is a group of people that just talk about different things that we should probably talk about in this video. And hopping over to Ape Wisdom, this is where we can now see what people are talking about in different places where you can talk about stuff and stocks. So Ape Wisdom covers Wall Street Bets, Wall Street Bets New, Wall Street Bets Elite, stock market, investing, SPACs, options, day trading, and short squeeze subreddits. The most talked about trending stocks on Reddit in the past 24 hours. Number one being Prog, and they have had a killer past 2 days, so I'm not surprised to see them at number one on the list. Number two, SPY. We have a lot of pivotal catalysts coming up, so the overall market should be very, very interesting. Keep an eye out on that. Next up, we have Smile Direct Club, then OCGN, then GameStop, then CLOV. So if we hop over to CLOV, again, people are still talking about it with a 71% positive public sentiment. Nearby words including Smile Direct Club, Wish, Puts, Buy, Good, A Bag, People, Money, Still, SoFi, OCGN, Back, YOLO, and Moon. Again, people are talking about it. There is a lot of activity going on, a lot of eyeballs on it. And if you saw our last video, we talked about why. That one guy from Wall Street Bets put in about $4.7 million into the stock. He said he went all in. So that did spark some conversation in the Wall Street Bets crowd. And if you remember last month, when something similar like that happened, the stock went crazy. So keeping an eye out on what Wall Street Bets is talking about, because it could lead to some sort of mass retail adoption, which kind of seems like it's what the stock needs to really break out of the range that it's currently stuck in. Before we talk about that range, let's talk about what they're talking about. They're talking about Tesla, SoFi, Smile Direct Club, and CLOV, Facebook, OCGN, GME, blah, 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 blah. So again, CLOV is still top 5 most talked about stocks on Wall Street Bets. Why do I care about what people are talking about? Because of this chart. It's very interesting to see when people start talking about something, does the stock price follow? Does the stock price hold when people don't talk about it? What happens? I don't know. We're just watching it and documenting it, and it is very, very interesting to track. So that's why we're taking a look at this. It does spark some other conversations. For example, hopping back to Ape Wisdom, we might want to look into Prog. It might be too late for something like Prog. We might want to look at GameStop maybe. Is the hype coming back? What's going on with Tesla? What's going on with SoFi, AMC, Facebook? How's the Facebook stuff with their ad shift in policy? So again, people talk about different catalysts. People talk about different stocks that are doing different things. For example, Apple announced like a surprise event coming up on the 18th. So they might release a new MacBook or new AirPods, hopefully. So this is why we take a look at what people are talking about and why this video talks about what people are talking about so much. So what's more important than what people are talking about is where people are putting their money. And I like to take a look at Max Pain for that information. So for this week, the Max Pain still has not changed. And it's going to be really funny if CLOV closes just under, at, or just above the Max Pain for the week. So if you don't know, if you're new here, which by the way, I was looking at my analytics, 78% of you guys are not subscribed. Subscribe. It's really easy. But anyways, Max Pain, if you're new here and you're not subscribed for some reason, and this is like your third time watching my video, Max Pain is the strike price at which the stock needs to be at to cause the maximum amount of pain to the calls and to the puts. So again, it's very interesting to see a stock that is so highly manipulated and so highly controlled and shorted and manipulated that Are they going to close it at 8? And it looks like it might be very likely unless some sort of catalyst kicks in and forces the stock to move. Next week's max pain is 8. The week after that is 7. The week after that, 7.5. The week after that, 8. So again, it is very interesting. We keep a very close eye on this, and let's see what happens with the price. So hopping over into dark pool data, the net short volume is negative 780,000. The net short volume in dollars is negative 6.29 million. There is a lot of shorting going on, which makes sense because CLOV had a couple green days. And every time CLOV has a green day, everybody likes to short it right back down. So hopping over to the daily movement, I drew this beautiful little red line to show you guys where the max pain is and take a look at that. We opened up today kind of in the red, bounced right back to the previous close line, which is illustrated by this teal line here, saw a high of 822, and that's probably where the shorting began. So then we just started a steady decline all the way down, broke through the previous close line, worked our way back down, broke through that max pain line, worked it all the way down to 780. Then a slow incline right back up, slowly but surely, to the max pain, and we're currently breaking past that max pain again. So I'm very, very interested to see where we open tomorrow, where we open the day after that, and how the stock moves with max pain. Again, it is very interesting because there's a lot of money on the line. Hopping over to the options chain, we get to actually see how much money is actually on the line. That max pain that I show is very visible when you hop over to the options chain. This is the October 15th options chain, both calls and puts. The call volume is still up. People are still buying calls. The $9 calls are selling for $5, and there's 11,259 volume on that. The people who bought it yesterday are down 44%. Now, people who sell you these contracts, they are either market makers or people with hundreds of shares. We currently have 409 shares, and we sold the $8 call for October 15th. So personally, I need CLOV to close just under $8, the max pain. I'm testing out this theory to see if we can start selling calls and selling puts around the max pain and doing the wheel strategy to capture as much premium as we can. Currently, CLOV is so pinned to that max pain, it's going to be very interesting to see if we're going to get exercised on that $8 call or not. If we do, I have to sell 100 shares of CLOV for $8 a share. But that is okay. Even though our total cost basis is $10.03 for these 409 shares, as you can see, my last 100 shares was purchased for $7.70. So worst case, if CLOV is just above $8, I am forced to sell 100 shares at $8, but that's okay because that is above my last cost basis for my last 100 shares. If CLOV closes below $8 a share, I walk away with the premium that I collected. Win-win. We start all over. We go to next week. We can do the same thing with the max pain for next week and see where we go from there. Best case scenario, CLOV closes just under $8. So let's see what happens. I'm not worried about it. Should be an interesting ride. Worst case, if CLOV just goes crazy, it's not even really worst case. We have 309 other shares. We can also roll over the $8 call that we're selling, buy it back, and sell something at a future date. If you have any questions for me, please let me know in the comments below. I get back to pretty much everything. I love you. And with that, I'll see you in the next video.